So, welcome. This is our first return to our midday practices. So, go ahead and just give yourself first a little pat on the back for showing up, for committing to resuming or beginning again your commitment to a midday reset. Let's breathe by first grounding through the sits bones, rising through the crown of the head, softening the shoulder blades. Give a little wiggle or adjustment. See if you can find a supported landing place. That means the wall, if that means pillows, props, blocks, bolsters, whatever you need. And then steady the inhale to the exhale. Maybe that's a count that you bring in to even it out, the Samavriti breath. Maybe it's just an internal kind of sense of tempo. So from this evenness, let's tickle the edge of effort with a little Kapalabhati. And take this slow and steady to begin, and only increase if it feels really supple, really accessible, right? Perhaps you want to pause. If you already did pause, congratulations. It's not wrong to break up your breathing practices. Reset, recalibrate, begin again with a little more compassion, a little more grounding. Start slow, increase the pace as appropriate. When you lose the rhythm or the muscles feel fatigued, that might first show up as kind of a hiccup in the rhythm. That's when it's a good indication to pause and recalibrate. Maybe you're done. Maybe you just reset and begin again. Do you know when it is that you need to walk away to be done? And can you tell the difference between being done and that recalibration to begin again? Both benefit from a pause, to check in, to inquire, to get curious about, what am I feeling? What am I doing or not doing? And how do I want to move forward for what's next? Do I even know what the benefits that I'm hungry for would feel like? Do I know what it's like to not have what I think I need? Having done that little bit of cleansing through the Kapalabhati, now let's come back to the big, expansive breath, blossoming, softening the pelvic floor on the inhale, and then gathering whatever you can find and drawing it in and up on the exhale. I call this the Dharma breath. This is our life's work to really breathe from our center, from our core. So while we're exhaling and lifting up from the pelvis, you might feel your shoulder blades draw in and down, really concentrating from both directions, from above and below. And then expanding to blossom open on the inhale. Exhale, draw in to center. If you don't feel the blossoming, the softening, the easing on the inhale, then skip the efforting of the contraction on the exhale. Just stay in that softening. Stay in that sense of releasing. We want to get that softening, opening, so that we aren't contributing to a lockdown in the pelvic floor or in the buttocks regions. Exhale, if you can find that softening, the exhale then is the activation. Again, inhale and soften. Exhale, active. Receive. Engage and contribute. We learn to breathe out of necessity, meaning we were no longer fed from our mother in the womb. And then that first breath after being born, we just did it because of the way that the vacuum inside of our lungs is a pressure differential with the outside world. So an accident brought us to breathing. And for many of us, that was enough, and we never really gave it another thought. But those of us who have committed to the practice of breathing mindfully and breathing well will reap the benefits across our day-to-day activity, as well as that inner knowing to hear our inner wisdom and truth, to connect with the energy of prana herself, the energy that flows and that keeps on giving through every single day. So can you feel this transfer of breath in and out as evidence of that connection to yourself and to the oneness, to the universe, to all? The diaphragm lives in the lower region of the ribs, It contracts and descends on the inhale. Can you feel that contraction? I can't. I can feel the relocation of the belly. I can feel kind of a bubbling forward of the belly, and I can feel a spreading of the ribs. But I don't feel, per se, the diaphragm muscle, that circular dome from front to back and right to left that separates the upper body from the lower body. What do you feel? On the exhale, we're siphoning in. The diaphragm is relaxing and ballooning up. Flattens on the inhale, balloons up and softens on the exhale. When we breathe well, we live well. We move well, we think well, we connect well. We breathe well. We are well. We have to learn to breathe, oftentimes, to overcome all of the bad habits or compensation patterns that have enabled us to get through life, to cope with the day-to-day stressors and tests and challenges, and honestly, sometimes the checking out, the numbing and the avoiding that is part and parcel with living an engaged communal life. Well done. Now, just a little test of this sense of evenness. We did a lot of releasing with the Kapalabhati. Now, option is to inhale and fill yourself up and then retain that full breath for as long as you can. And in that fullness, you want to have the spine nice and tall and the muscles of the body supple and at ease so that there's no internal struggle, even though there is going to be a bit of an interruption to your breath flow. So if you are willing, you are healthy, you are stable, you have been having a breath practice for a while. If at any point this feels threatening, come back to breathing in and out. When you're ready, you'll draw the breath in, sip in a little bit more, fill yourself up, and then lock the bandhas. Feel that squeeze of the pelvis, feel the squeeze of the navel and the belly, maybe even a squeeze in the throat. That's going to lock those bandhas, and feel the pressure rising from holding that breath. For me, I generally feel a flush that comes up over the back of my head and over the top. If I start to get color bursts behind my eyes, I know that I'm really feeling it. Right? Just notice what you notice. Know that you are filled up and that you have enough. You are enough. But when that pressure becomes too much or enough, or you feel simply a need to breathe again, let it go and take 3 breaths in ease. Doing something new, doing something we've always done differently, these are hard things, and this is part of learning to navigate when to walk away and when to begin again, when to persevere. But when in doubt, breathe and then connect. Find support. So as we close this practice, know that I am with you in mind and in spirit to support you in this practice. And until we shall meet again, may you breathe deeply, move freely, labor lovingly, and live vibrantly. Namaste.